For so long, Brexit has been a dot on the horizon, but the point of departure is fast approaching. Port of Dover is a gateway to Europe. The scale of the trade that flows through here is extraordinary. 7,000 lorries a day, clearing customs in seconds. But Britain's leaving the customs union and the single market, and the port is worried it may not cope.
So here you're looking at one of DFDS's ships from Calais discharging.
The port says the introduction of customs checks and tariffs here would cause gridlock. It's proposed a contingency plan to government, but is still waiting for a response.
It's taking a painfully long time to finalise the process.
There are other ports in the UK, and they argue if Dover ends up struggling, that they will simply pick up the slack.
They can't. The Port of Dover, as I say, handles 2.6 million lorries every year. That's more than every other UK ferry port put together.
Minutes from the Port of Dover is a business built on free trade with the EU. Most of the aluminium panels made here are shipped to the continent. Disruption post-Brexit is likely to cost it customers.
We're able to promise that if a dispatch goes on a Friday, it's with them by the next Wednesday. If they're stuck in transit, they may need to source material elsewhere.
The government wants a free trade area with the EU, allowing cargo to move around as easily as it does today. The EU says if Britain wants free movement of goods, it will have to accept all four of its freedoms, including free movement of people. Now, if there is no agreement, if there is no deal, then tariffs will kick in. If Britain ends up trading with the EU on WTO rules, the Institute for Fiscal Studies calculates the cost of importing and exporting processed food and drink would rise by 38%. The cost of shipping farm produce and fish would go up 25%, and clothing and textiles by 21%. Tariffs, customs checks, new rules and regulations would make trade generally more expensive, damaging growth and costing jobs. Wetherspoons has been busy replacing French champagne with English sparkling, but 1/5 of what's on sale here is still imported from the EU. Would no deal push up prices on the menu? The boss who campaigned to leave says not, because he argues tariffs won't happen.
I know what it would cost if we imposed the tariffs that they charge in Brussels. But it's irrelevant. No, it's not relevant.
It's the worst case scenario.
No, it's not. It's a sensational scenario. If the Parliament decides to impose tariffs on food, there will be a revolution.
Dover sits at the foot of a cliff edge. Britain sits atop one. Most economists agree that deal or no deal, leaving the EU will damage trade to some extent and therefore our prosperity. Joel Hills, News at 10, Dover.